This is the Japanese Thompson submachine gun. The Type 100 SMG Late, its official in-game name, is the newest Japanese weapon added to the game. It was designated by Western Allied forces as the Type 144, being a 1944 variant of the Type 100, and it was very common as far as Japanese SMGs go, with around 9,000 of this late war version made, mostly placed into the hands of special units and paratroopers, such as the Geretsu Kutetai. But is it good? If so, is it the best Japanese SMG you can use? To find out, I grinded all the new levels on Enlisted's test server, becoming one of the only players who had used it in a public battle. And after all my countless tests, in conclusion to my questions, it might be. Let me explain. The latest Type 100 submachine gun truly does have everything needed to be an M1 Thompson replica. Almost. It has the same monstrous fire rate, 920 shots per minute, and magazine size, 30 rounds. But due to a lower caliber size, the Type 100 does less damage, has a much lower reload time and much lower recoil. So it's basically a more controllable Thompson, even no matter which version of Enlisted's Chicago typewriters you compare it to. But comparing it to the enemy's weapons is not what matters. It solely matters whether it's better than existing Japanese assault weapons. Now, against the SIG 1920, which is factually the prior best SMG that Japan have access to, there's a stark contrast. The Type 100 has what I call the holy quadruple of more damage, higher fire rate, lower reload, and better recoil. Bear in mind though that due to the SIG's recoil multiplier weapon balancing system, it has more horizontal recoil too, even if the initial stats made it seem like the opposite. And even for the hidden stats, the shot dispersion is unnoticeably different. The aim down sight or ADS speed likewise, though the only other aspect to note is that the SIG's recoil direction statistic is higher, which means its horizontal recoil trends more to the right, meaning the SIG is easier to predict and recoil control than the new Japanese trench sweeper. Both have a bayonet too, meaning you can one-hit melee kill enemies without needing to switch to your trusty katana, and can charge, the mechanic to run faster. This all means that the Type 100 is better for quickly killing at short to medium range, so it's better suited to the key enlisted gameplay, though the SIG is adapted to both lengthy in duration and in distance engagements. The answer to the question asked at the start, therefore, is yes, it's 100% worth your time to grind and use. But is it the best Japanese SMG? I'd say yes, but it is close. Don't trust my opinion? Then watch this. Here's me shooting at a target with it in the practice mode, and here's me shooting a different one. Note how the scope is pretty good and open, at least in my opinion. Here's me pretending that I'm a good player by lean spamming and shooting, and here's me doing it again. Here's me building a rally point in a public match on the testing server because you should too. Here's some long range shooting, here's some much shorter range shooting, here's some shooting without recoil control, and here's some shooting with recoil control. Here's some stabbing of a target with the bayonet because I just can. Here's some overpowered and accurate hip firing. Bet you didn't know it was good at that too. And lastly, here's me reloading, because the main downside of this weapon is that you'll be doing it a lot. And in a public match, you can see it now. This game was a breeze for the most part, slapping enemy players and bots alike with the Japanese Thompson, and it was great fun to use. The fire rates felt like the best part, as being able to react first and kill quicker than the enemy is the key, and this weapon can do it in abundance. It only seemed like it struggled aiming at further away targets, almost as though its shot dispersion and recoil felt worse than they actually were, meaning that any recoil soldier perks are absolutely essential for your assaulters with this weapon. That being said, it performed extremely well at mowing down waves of humans, and despite stopping once to say hello to a fan, and being forcefully stopped in my tracks by bots that can just see through foliage,
you cheated!
I still racked up 231 kills per game, most of which came from the Japanese Thompson. But what do you think of this new overpowered Japanese SMG? Let me know down below. Special thanks to my YouTube channel members and patrons who support the channel and make these videos possible, including Akolo QE, Vertix, Kitsune Lord 91, and Hilbster.